Javier Morales, a black resort owner in the vibrant tourist town of Playa Sol, Mexico, found himself at the center of an incident that revealed the depths of prejudice within his own establishment. Unaware of the storm about to unfold, the resort staff judged him solely by his appearance, oblivious to the twist that would upend their lives and the discriminatory system they unknowingly upheld. What followed would not only alter their fates but challenge the foundations of the bias they perpetuated. The truth, when revealed, would surprise even those who thought they had seen it all. But to understand the magnitude of the event, we must start at the beginning. Javier Morales stood at the entrance of his luxury beach resort, deciding to forego reports and personally observe how his staff treated guests. By blending in, wearing simple jeans and a jacket with no sign of his status, Javier intended to see the resort through an ordinary guest's eyes. The resort gleamed with elegance. The marble floors shimmered, chandeliers sparkled, and the reception desk staff appeared polished and professional. But Javier knew appearances could be deceiving. His modest attire made him indistinguishable from other tourists, a choice that gave him an unfiltered view of his staff's behavior. As he approached the front desk, the receptionist, a young man named Carlos, didn't bother to acknowledge him. Javier stood quietly, waiting for a greeting, but the silence stretched. Carlos reluctantly looked up, visibly annoyed at being interrupted, and asked, "Can I help you?" in a flat, dismissive tone. Javier, sensing the judgment behind Carlos's demeanor, calmly asked about room availability. Despite knowing the resort's occupancy, he wanted to see how Carlos would respond. Without a proper check, Carlos curtly replied, "We're fully booked," before turning his attention elsewhere, effectively dismissing Javier. Unshaken, Javier remained at the desk. His life experiences had prepared him for moments like these, where his appearance led others to misjudge him. When Javier asked Carlos to verify his reservation, Carlos sighed irritably and performed a cursory check. "I don't see your reservation." "Maybe try somewhere else," he sneered, his tone dripping with disdain. Another staff member, Sofia, overheard and whispered to Carlos, "Should we just call security to deal with this?" Loud enough for Javier to hear, her words only deepened his disappointment. Yet Javier stayed, determined to uncover the extent of the staff's bias. When security arrived, a pair of imposing guards, the situation escalated. One guard approached Javier and said coldly, "Sir, you need to leave." Javier, standing his ground, responded, "I have the right to be here." The guards moved closer, one grabbing Javier's arm. At that moment, Javier calmly pulled out his ID, revealing his identity as the resort's owner. The room fell silent. Carlos, Sofia, and the guards froze, their arrogance replaced by shock and fear. "You've just tried to eject the owner of this resort because you judged me by my appearance," Javier said firmly. His voice was steady but carried immense authority. The staff stood speechless, grappling with the magnitude of their mistake. Moments later, the resort manager, Ricardo, rushed into the lobby, visibly shaken. "Señor Morales, I deeply apologize for this incident. I cannot believe this happened under my watch," Ricardo stammered. Javier remained composed. "This isn't about apologies, Ricardo. It's about change. Your staff acted on prejudice, and that reflects a systemic issue that must be addressed." Ricardo nodded solemnly. "We'll implement immediate staff training and revise our policies to ensure this never happens again." As Javier walked away from the confrontation, he reflected on the broader implications of the incident. It was more than a personal affront, it was a moment to challenge the systemic biases that plagued society. Javier knew the road to justice was long, but with the support of his family and community, he was determined to make his resorts a model of fairness and respect. This was not the end, but the beginning of a larger journey toward equality and justice. Each small victory, like this one, brought him closer to a world where respect and dignity were universal principles.